we're away. So Jersey, don't worry about the fact that we're recording. As I said just now, you can say whatever you want, mate. Okay?
We'll edit after.
Yeah.
We had to edit an early one where we started to say some things that we definitely would be sued for.
You can understand me, can't you? Because my friend, she's German, and she doesn't understand the word I say. I speak too fast, and I don't think that's true. But you might be able to.
No, you'll be clearer. You'll be clearer than us. Or maybe we've got three. There's three completely different accents on here, so it'll make it even better.
Yeah, that's it.
I don't know what my accent is.
Fine.
I don't know what my accent is. I mean, I come from England, obviously, but I come from Hampshire and then East Anglia, and via Scotland, so I drop in ochs and eyes, but from time to time. Anyway, just in case there's anyone listening out there, we've Four Walls podcasts have changed just a little bit. We've started to invite some people along that we like on topics that we love, that they're much more interesting than us. So somebody that's much more interesting than us, we've got Jersey Bud with us, and we'll explain a bit about Jersey as we go along, but Jersey is a musician. He is a great musician. I don't care what anyone says. I think he's one of the best musicians out there. He's written some fabulous songs down through the years, and we'll give him a chance to have a chat about that. So good to see you, Jersey. Thank you very much for joining in with this wee podcast that we've got going on.
It's a pleasure, boys. Yeah, great to see you.
Yeah. So, obvious question, how did you start? I mean, you changed your name, didn't you? Because you were all into Springsteen and stuff.
Well, I changed it. My dad, just to give you a sort of background to my upbringing, is sort of my dad is a bit of a character in Leicester, and so he'd have nicknames for everybody. So my little sister, Anna, she had at one point 36 nicknames that she went by. And she's 38 years old now, and she's still known as Troll because she's Troll. Because honestly, it comes up on my phone, Troll. Diddle-dee, Troll. Here we go, and that comes from my dad. And there was all sorts of crazy names, but Jersey Joe. My original name was Joe. Mm-hmm. So my dad always is Jersey Joe. You think, what's he on about? Who is this? As a kid, just tapping on there like, It's Jersey Joe. I don't know what's until I find out it was quite cool. It was after Jersey Joe Walcott, the boxer.
The boxer.
Yeah. So
Okay.
It just he'd have a nickname or a song for anybody. Sort of, if he ever met a Sadie, the cleaning lady. It's sort of just you think, you couldn't take him anywhere without him embarrassing you. So it was. So any friends that come round, I had a friend called Ryan Davey at school, and he's still a friend now. But he was the Rycuda. And you think, right, it's just a crazy, crazy man. So that's where, and I changed my name, not for any ego thing. It was because I kind of liked it. You know, when you're doing the music, sort of there's a load of Joe Walsh and all that sort of thing, and there's not many jerseys around, so. It's not down to any ego, boys. You know what I mean? It's not like I don't turn into another alter ego, whatever you say. When you one day I'm Joe, and one day I'm Jersey. You see, but no. And I changed it because I thought I was going to be a musician and a real top musician. You see, and that's it. I thought it'd be easy for the royalty checks too, but they never came.
You're still waiting for those, Jersey.
Still waiting for them. I got £34 the other week for my royalties. I promise you now.
Yes.
And so. I think we had a Chinese, and that was it. Yeah, that was yeah.
So, well, Craig's a bit of a fan of the old boxing stuff. So, had you heard of Jersey Joe Walcott?
Oh yeah. I had. Yeah.
Oh right.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. He was a heavyweight champion before, like back in the Joe Louis, in between Joe Louis and Rocky Marciano era, and then he actually became a referee as well. He actually refereed. Yeah, the really famous punch with Rocky Marciano. It's in a lot of black and white with his right hand, and the guy's face is distorted. That guy whose face is distorted is Jersey Joe Walcott.
That's it.
Okay.
My career. Distorted. Yeah, that's it.
There you go. See, I'm not going to turn it into a boxing podcast, but yeah, there's a link. So yeah.
No, that's another. We'll come back another time to do that.
Exactly.
Absolutely. So that's it. And then, back to your question in terms of how it all started. It was my mum. she brought me a guitar out the local paper, the Leicester Mercury.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, Mum, because it's at high school, my friend Danny Archer, he said, oh, I've heard you do a bit of singing. Okay, yeah, that's fine. And then we came down at lunchtimes to eat some Beatles chord books, and I'm sure there's a Bon Jovi one in there as well. Like, you know,
that sneaked its way in.
Yeah, there's Oasis one. There was Cat Stevens book, and to watch him play guitar, and that sort of clicked in me. Do you know what I mean? To learn it properly, if you want. So I used to take them books back with me. So my mum brought me a £10 guitar out the Leicester Mercury. We went to get it, and my older sister Maria would say, I got it back, and within a couple of hours, you're playing the E, A, and D chord. And I think the first song, just the first thing when you teach a bit of guitar now, it's the go-to starting point. Do you know what I mean? It's like the E, A, and D. Master that, and it was what was the one that it was? Lay down, Sally.
Sally.
Yeah. That's all it is.
One of the first songs I played. Yeah, I still haven't navigated much from that, to be honest.
Now you see, Craig is now going to claim that he's a guitarist.
Yeah.
That's it.
And the more drunk he gets, the better he gets as well.
Oh yeah,
but isn't that the same with everyone?
As well as the audience, works for the audience as well.
That's it. The singing gets better, the guitar gets better, and then you wake up in the morning and think, "Oh God, that's me retired again."
So Jesse, apart from "Lay Down, Sally," that Clapton covered is that a Clapton song? Have I got that?
Yeah. Whether he did it originally, but it's the one it was the one I'd heard before, so I knew flicking through the chord book. You think, no, I can't do a D minor over a C4/9, and you think, no, diminished chords, no.
Yeah,
I thought I'll start with E, D, and A. That's it.
So what? So favorite songs then? Give us some favorite songs, and we'll join in.
What of all time?
Yeah,
see, that's such a tough question.
No, come on.
We even struggled with this name in our best Christmas songs. This is
we did it Christmas.
Talk about putting someone on the spot.
Wow. Yeah,
I'm intrigued.
You never told me that question was coming up. I said I'll get you a proper answer. But now I go through. Listen, my idol, my is Bob Dylan. I don't think there's any. There's a songwriter, but that's your man you'll never touch in terms of lyrics and songwriting. Okay. And then obviously it's the Beatles that. I mean, Neil Young we listened to. Van Morrison. I remember Van Morrison's voice. My dad's Cortina growing up in the back with the cassette tapes, and just going to. There was a song called "Cleaning Windows." What's my life? I'm a working man in my prime, cleaning windows. And the horns would come in. And I remember it like it was yesterday in the back of the car with my sisters and my dad driving. And just Van Morrison's voice. And every time I hear it now, it takes me back to being a young kid. You know what I mean? It's just that.
That's what music does, though, right?
Yeah, it's like a comfort. It's comfort. It's a dead comfort, like a comfort blanket. You put Van the Man on, and it just takes you back. And so I'd say a few of his songs. I mean.
Storytellers, really, Jersey. Storytellers. People who can tell stories.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. And then it's Stone Me. That's the one I put on today. And it's Stone Me. But I go through different sort of periods of favourite songs. Dylan at the minute was on the Blood on the Tracks album.
Okay.
That's so there's me and my old man love Idiot Wind. But I mean, as a favourite songs, I mean that's like trying to name your favourite child.
It can change from week to week, isn't it? Yeah, I play those playlists, and
I struggle. No, mine stick.
Do they?
Go on, what's yours then, Andrew? What's yours?
Well, the two or three that come to mind. There's a song by Chris Rea.
Yeah.
That I've forgotten the name of. Brilliant.
We've got to keep this, and that's not getting edited out at all.
It's such a great song, and blowed if I could remember the name. Isn't that totally ridiculous?
Well,
and then I'm a great Springsteen fan, so I love Springsteen stuff, and
me too.
2 or 3 of his songs always.
Yeah. There's artists.
You got compared with Springsteen earlier on. I read a review years ago, and it was probably the thing that made me go and listen to your first song Bright Soul something.
It was Bright Soul, Andrew.
Bright Soul.
There's I remember back in the days when we were sure we'll get onto it, but I'm going to name drop now. But Noel Gallagher, I met him through my old manager, and apparently did an interview in Japan. I've never been to Japan, but he called me the English Springsteen, which I always found a bit uncomfortable because you sort of nowhere. Not to me. That's not putting myself down, but it's just you're nowhere near that level. Do you know what I mean? In terms of
it's instant pressure, isn't it? People do that. Yeah, with footballers.
I didn't like that. Yeah. I didn't like that because I've got many influences, and then every. Obviously, that rock, the Heartland rock, if you want, the blue collar rock and roll. I do get that because I grew up on. My dad and my mum would play on the record Tom Petty and Neil Young and Van der Man, Bob Dylan, and Springsteen was on. But it's people. I assumed, rightly or wrongly, that people just thought I listened to Springsteen all day. Do you know what I mean? But then it kind of. I remember the NME, obviously the magazine. He can be like a good review of Wonderlands, but I knew Hamish's name was. He didn't like my type of music. But it's weird now how you see people like Sam Fender, and
he's been labelled as Springsteen as well. They just like to throw these kind of. It's the new Springsteen. It's the new Johnny Cash.
The new Springsteen. Yeah, that's it. And I hated it, Craig. I not hated it. No, it was a pleasure. But you think, well, no, it was a bit more to that to me than that sort of thing. But it's just so. It's just so easy. Even now, you go, it's like Springsteen. That you think, no, I can't see it. I can't hear it.
Yeah.
That's it. So that's what I mean. Favorite songs all about the Thunder Road. I suppose that's got to be up there. Just because my old man, I used to play the acoustic version that Springsteen did, and when I do the cover gigs, if you want.
Yeah.
And my old man would always say, "Play that one, Jazz. Play Thunder Road." And he did the harmonica and. He did it. I think he did a live in Dublin version. My man used to love that.
Right, yeah.
So it wasn't nothing like the rock and roll record. It was just the very unplugged acoustic.
He started doing that. Yeah, maybe about 15, 20 years ago, acoustic ones, a set or whatever, and people would run back into the stadium saying, "He's not finished. Let's get back."
But it's great. I mean, there's load of influences, and still to this day, there's there's not a new band, but. I was listening today, the Alabama Shakes. I mean,
I've
forgotten. Obviously, listened to them back in 10 years ago, probably as time flies, a bit more. But I got back on it today. I thought, wow, that's she's an amazing voice, and the great band, just real tight and just rocking. Yeah, brilliant.
It's funny when you re-find music that you haven't heard. It's a song you'll be walking somewhere, and this is what music can do, right? It can play somewhere in a shop or something like that, or a train. And you think, God, I haven't listened to that for ages. Then you go back through and you re-listen to old albums and old songs, and it takes you back to different times, and you remember things associated with the songs.
My wife and I, we seem to spend a lot of our time in the 70s. You know, she's a huge David Bowie fan, massive David Bowie fan, and so if we're sort of what should we listen to, we kind of resort to 1972, 1973. When there were album after album after album came out of extraordinary music. And I feel, I don't know about you, I feel a bit for the kids these days. I don't know what they get that's good.
My little girl, she has in the car, she has to, that's it, the go-to, when I pick them up, right, it's the go-to line. Put the radio on, Dad, yeah? Or we have to plug hold on. So we have to plug the iPhone in, but it's Capital. What's Capital FM? And you think, Jesus Christ! I know, I'm not old, but there's a few good songs, but the new music today. There's like apps for that when there's like you can make songs up on like just loops and beats, and that's all it is. I mean,
I have a 17-year-old son saying similar, right? We had a chat about there's a difference between my youngest 11. So he's now going through this crazy period of listening to all the 90s, so Oasis and Stone Roses and not quite Happy Mondays yet. I was throwing some of that over to him. Try these guys, you know. But it's funny how during the as the years go by, they think, God, everything sounds the same. And then you
Aye.
revert back to a time where, Dad, what was it like when you were growing up with this music? You know? And
What
it's,
was it like when they played real music? Yeah.
but
I
you
had a
Yeah, imagine that.
horrible thing last week, or dreadful thing last week, that Spotify have ghost tracks in their playlists. So they've got AI generated tracks to fill up playlists.
you're kidding.
People just have these things rolling in the background to avoid paying royalties. To
Wow.
No,
avoid
well,
you getting your 34 quid, Jesse.
wow, that was over my entire career, I do believe. Yes, yeah. Yeah, yeah. But no, that's it's frightening, isn't it? Really.
Yeah.
I know there's my bass player stroke producer Rick Wilson. Now Rick used to play in a great band from Leicester in the 80s, 90s. There was Diesel Park West, and they were on tour with Delamitri, and they were really big.
Wow.
They had a great album called Shakespeare, Alabama. But
Okay.
anyway, anyway, so Rick, just if you go back and Google them or whatever, get on Diesel Park West, great band from Leicester. Well, this is a story about AI. He was an apprentice bricklayer. So in the summer just gone, in fact, it's the wall he built in 4 seasons. He built it himself. He said, I can build a 6-foot wall in the back of his garden. Anyway, so his son came round and it's just joking. He's all into the computers, and he said, right, I'm gonna. He typed it in to AI, whatever you call it now. My dad Rick is building a wall, and it's took him a long time. And he said within 20 seconds, he said, come and have a listen to this, Jez. It was, and the chorus now, it goes, brick by brick, Rick. Yeah, but I mean, we were singing it all day long. It's like his son typed in a few words, just a few like pointers, and this new song. I went, well, who's written that? He said, no, the AI. I went, that's really, really scary. That's the first time you think, oh no, that's only going to get one way.
That's scary, isn't it?
Really,
Andrew, you wrote a Christmas song, didn't you?
I wrote a Christmas song for us, but I suspect my royalties won't equate with Slade and the various other Christmas songs. In fact, I'm sure of it.
Yeah, it's shelved for another year.
Yeah, shelved. You were talking about Thunder Road there. We were at Springsteen last summer, and he forgot the lyrics, which is kind of fascinating, really, isn't it? I mean, I can remember Chris Rea's thing, to forget your own lyrics. And so what was extraordinary, and I'm gonna get to a question in a minute. What was extraordinary, of course, the crowd filled in for him because we knew the lyrics.
Yeah, for sure.
And this happened again. We went to Snow Patrol in Glasgow back in January, February time, and he forgot the lyrics to Run. But it didn't really matter because the crowd
everyone's singing along anyway, right?
Sing along. That must be the thing, mustn't it? When you've got a crowd of people in front of you and you can feel that they're kind of with you and singing along. That must be brilliant, mustn't it?
Yeah, it is. I mean, yeah, not as big as them boys, but yeah, to have that just to. Well, I say on Saturday the gig in Leicester, there's a few mates of mine. They said they know. They were saying the people around you knew all the words and sing along to it. So that's a massive pleasure. Do you know what I mean? It's not what you do it for, but them little compliments. It does mean the world when people have took the time, apart from your own kids, to learn your own lyrics. You know what I mean? But I cannot remember. I can't remember a time I've come close to forgetting it. But there's something at the minute, and I'm 41, so. It'll come very soon. I imagine forgetting it's going to be a usual thing soon at gigs, forgetting lyrics. But fortunately, I've not forgotten. I can't remember any massive faux pas. You know, in terms of like, I've been panicking. Going, what's the next line? What's the next line? And then something. So there's a little switch. You go, oh, that's it.
It just goes.
Thank God for that. That's the way it is.
Who wrote this song?
That's it. It's crazy. But I mean, obviously chords. I've forgot a load of chords over the years. You think, right, I've got no idea, and then you just stop playing altogether. But it doesn't work quite so well when you do an acoustic gig. You forget the chord. You think I can get the band to cover it for me. But
yeah,
it's like my team around me, teammates that help me out. But when you're doing a solo acoustic gig, you think there's no hiding place, and every bum note is noticed, and every flat note is noticed. Yeah.
Well, it comes to me. I forget stuff all the time. It's ridiculous. I'm a little bit older than you guys. It's Chisel.
That Chris Rea song yet? No.
Yeah, it's Chisel Hill. Did you not? Have you not guessed?
We're getting there.
I don't know why these things escape you from time to time. It's ridiculous.
Do you go through periods, Jersey, where you're, you've got more coming into your mind, where you're writing more? Do you have sort of periods of time where you just think, God, I've got to build up? Or do you purposely go into a mode where you think, right, do you know what? I'm going to spend some time. I'm going to go and write a few songs. How does it happen for you?
No, but mine's, for example, Craig, I think the word's like sporadic. So I don't, in terms of there's the new single that's called Into the Ground that came out.
I heard it. It's a great song, by the way.
Bless you. And so I had the chorus all done. That was all like, if what I've heard is true, I'm gonna love you like a night in the summer. I had that and all sort of sorted out, but a bit like a crossword and a puzzle. I had the melody for the verse, but no lyrics. So you're just going over and over again, and you sort of have to get yourself in that meditative state where you have to go, right, I've got to focus on this, because there's that much going on in life around you, well, in everyone's life, but to answer your question, you have to get yourself in that zone, and then really, really be disciplined to, right, this has got to happen now. And I remember I was going into the studio, I booked the studio to do the vocals probably a week before, and I thought, I've got to get down now. I can't just keep singing rubbish with like bullshit lyrics. You know what I mean? I'm making lyrics up and thinking about toast and soap and all that. But anything a bit just. But then you hear years ago. I remember sort of Paul McCartney.
Scrambled eggs.
Scrambled eggs, wasn't it?
It's one of my favourite stories.
Oh my God!
Scrambled eggs. He had the melody, but couldn't get
the syllables. Scrambled eggs yesterday.
And he kept going round and round. Yeah,
that's it. But you just have to get in that sort of state. But I've got a load of voice memos on my phone and an iPad, and I will have to get to a point now in the summer. Obviously, we'll go through difficult period at the minute in not personal life, just doing a busy life and things like that, without going too into it. But it's just so now you're sort of coming out the other side of a difficult period at home, and then you sort of I can feel it coming now. Do you know what I mean? I'm playing the guitar a bit more. And you can feel there's more and more little notes coming out. And because years ago, when I was at my dad's house writing the first album, my dad said it was like a schizophrenic. I'd have writing and post-it notes all over the wall, wrote on my old, obviously not 19-year-old kids. Like there was words and lyrics all over the wall. Do you know what I mean? My dad thought I'd gone mad, but it was just that creative sort of atmosphere you have to get into. Do you know what I mean? So I can feel that coming again. Maybe not right on the walls because my landlord won't have it, but yeah, I can feel it coming, lads. Yeah.
So it could be the start of another album. Could be.
Yeah, that's it. Well, I mean, it could be definitely. You say an EP or standalone tracks, Craig. But I tell you for why, because it's simply the money to make an album. For example, the Gathering Dust.
That's a great EP. Every song on that one, fantastic.
Bless you again. And then that was recorded in Leicester, in Rick's studio, in a loft in Leicester. Wow. And that was paid on. I paid that on the Never Never. If you want £100 in, if I did a gig, 50, and it cost me $4,000.
How long did it take you to write that one? That collection of songs? Because it was quite a few. What was it? 10, 11 songs?
Yeah. Yes, probably over the period of a year, I'd say, Craig. Yeah, you know what I mean. Sort of. Yeah, it was just. Again, had to sort of be disciplined. Right, I need to finish this song now. And some songs, like the Gathering Dust. I had that lyric. Just one look into your eyes can clear the gathering dust, and that sort of fell together pretty quickly. And obviously, other songwriters will tell you some just happened there and then. Some you have to think about. But we really enjoyed that. And going back to it, I can't see how you can get. Unless there's some millionaire out there listening to this podcast who wants to sponsor me.
Millionaires take note.
That's it. You never know who's listening. And then, but that's basically it. It's the money, really, money in the time. Yeah. As life gets in the way a bit, but I'll still record. So the plan at the minute, maybe standalone tracks. You know, because this day and age, people put things on Spotify monthly, weekly, don't they? You know
I mean? So it's a totally different process now, right?
Quick turnaround, and it's not like years ago where you wait a few years for your favourite band or a couple of years for your favourite artist to release something. They want now. People want it now and now and now.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? There is no tomorrow. That's it.
Got to be easily accessible, isn't it? Whereas before, you kind of lose a little bit of that mystique. You know, we were talking about you'd get to a weekend, for example, and you'd be at school and you'd think, right, I'll get some pocket money and I'm going to go in and buy a single from one of my favorite bands and go to McDonald's or Burger King. You get excited about it. Whereas now you're just open the phone and say, oh, right, download. There we go.
I spent hours looking for a single just for that song. You know, I've actually got a single here. Don't know.
Wow!
She came back. Is that my eyes are very good?
Yeah, she came back. Great song.
Bless that was the closest thing I came to stardom. That was Andrew and Craig. Yeah. I remember we played in the Camden, not next to the Dingwall, Camden, not Dingwalls. The Lock in Camden, near there. Anyway, so we were supporting a band called The Hours.
Right.
I think, and Jen, he played with Joe Strummer and his band, and it very, very well known, man. So we toured with them. Anyway, and then Steve Wright, God bless him, he's gone now, isn't he? The Radio 2 DJ.
Yeah, he has, yeah.
And I was in the let's say dressing room, a little booth, just backstage thing. And Steve Wright walked by, and I thought, I sat there, I thought, Steve Wright, brilliant. He walked off with his bag. And then the next day, I was round my sister's house, just seeing my little nephew. He was a young lad then. And I think we were just playing rugby, like just in the back garden, kicking footballs. And then my friend rang me, he said, put the radio on now. So we're running, so okay, what's up? Put on my sister's radio. And there he played, She Came Back off his own back. I think my manager had just given him a CD.
Wow.
Yeah, so I honestly, it makes you quite emotional now, especially now as he's gone. But I owe that man a lot of gratitude, really, because that was a special moment. Still makes me sort of go now well up, because he had no divine right to do that, and he didn't have to do it. Do you know what I mean? That was off his own back.
Yeah.
And we didn't force drinks down his neck, and off he went into the distance. I thought nothing. I remember thinking, we should have given him a CD, and luckily my manager at the time, he had. And he played it for 10 days in a row, and you think, blimey, that's the first time he'd heard of my song on radio, and it's probably one of the biggest things to date that's happened to me. Do you know what I mean?
That was going to be one of my questions. Actually, it was going to be something that stood out to you within the music industry, and you can see why that. Just to hear that, and then it's amazing how many friends come out of the woodwork when you're on national radio. You know what I mean? Phone calls from people you haven't heard of in years.
I didn't even buy a drink for about a year.
Well, a very good friend of mine from years back, she mentioned she'd heard this song, and she said, you should go and listen to this guy. And I said, well, funnily enough, I have been listening to this guy, and she actually was offered a gig to tour when Time Out first came out. She was asked, she knew the editor, and he asked her whether she had 3 or 4 months free to go touring for Time Out and follow a tour. This was 1974, to follow a tour. And she said, I can't. I've got to get a job. So she didn't follow Bruce Springsteen around Europe before.
No way. It's crazy. There were sliding doors moments, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, just incredible. You know? I was the last time I saw you play, Jersey, was in Edinburgh, Voodoo Rooms in Edinburgh.
Yeah.
You did an acoustic set there, and there were 4 or 5 of us at the back, and we were talking, and everyone agreed. This was prompted by me, your kind of biggest groupie fan type of person. Everyone agreed that the songs you sang that night were absolutely brilliant, and they couldn't understand why. It hadn't happened. Is it just luck? Why is it? Why doesn't it? You've got some brilliant songs, you know.
Bless you. I don't. I can't answer that. It keeps you awake at night sometimes. You're thinking, right, but not so much now. You sort of the kids and there's different pleasures in life. But it does. You think, well, not that I had any divine right to be somewhere, but it's sort of well, it ruined my confidence. I tell you now, there's only us three listening and talking, but it took me a long time to get my confidence back, because when my first album didn't sell, Wonderlands didn't sell. Obviously, there's 2 people in Aberdeen come and see me and things like that. You know what I mean? So
we better tell everyone that story in a minute.
Yeah, that's it. And then so it sort of ruined that didn't sell. But I'm a realist, so I knew my manager was at the time, Mikey. It was great that he said we're going to do 100,000 copies. I remember thinking, blimey, that's some going. I mean, I'm not being pessimistic. It was just like, okay. And then when it didn't sell, because it was just coming that Spotify era, I do believe it's just when the time was changing from the music industry was changing, as it always does, but very.
But that was a massive
severely.
change.
Yeah, for example, there was no more advances. I think bands like The Enemy and Kasabian were the last sort of people to get big advances. Do you know what I mean? So then it became a different ball game altogether, really.
Yeah.
So I must anyway. That didn't sell for one reason or another, but it ruined my confidence. And you think, oh, what's the point? Wrongly, you think, oh, what's the point? Even to this day, you sort of struggle with you sort of crippling like self-doubt. But then you hear people like Springsteen talk about it, and that's just must be artists in general. I've never been that personality to build myself up, which is again wrong. It's one of my worst traits. But all the top boys and girls, they seem to have this underlying belief, such belief in themselves. And I was like borderline arrogance. Do you know what I mean? And I just ain't that sort of bloke. Do you know what I mean? I didn't want to, because back at the time, my manager, he was saying, yeah, geez, just got to, when you go to interviews, play it a bit like, trying to force me to, not force me, that's the wrong word, but sort of push me into the corner where I'm the next Oasis, the next guitar band. You think, oh, good grief. It's just not
trying to be something else, a different character, think, not be yourself. Yeah.
And I sort of, again, it's all angles in the music industry, angles, and we need an angle for this. You think, I just want to sing me songs. You know, you can be like a bad boy, Michael Bublé, that sort of like. Well, why would I want to be that? You know what I mean?
Bad boy, Michael Bublé.
Honestly, I've been in meetings. I've been in meetings. I promise you, lads, when I've two. I don't know what they were. There's a man and a woman, and and they look me up and down. Sat next to them. Yeah, okay, nice. Yeah, got on well. And they look me up and down, literally like a dress in a shop. And they went, yeah. We can work with him. We can work with him. I thought,
wow, yeah.
felt like a piece of me. I was like, mate, come on. It's just not how I was brought up. My dad, my mum brought me up. Do you know what I mean? You think, right, okay, but that's it. So it just, I just thought for a few years, I thought, well, I didn't really like the industry, and you sort of fell out of love with it. It was just so many promises and false hopes that you sort of got yourself to a place where you think, you know what, I've had enough of this now. So, but now I've got my love back for it. Do you know what I mean? In terms of playing, it's sort of back being a hobby now. You know what I mean? Sort of got me day
feel
job,
the pressure's off. Then is that a part of it? Yeah.
Yeah, it must have been great. I mean, it must have been some element of truth to that. A bit, definitely yes. In terms of, but now it's been a hobby. It's back to being a hobby, should I say? And then you enjoy it more. And then all my band have got day jobs and things like that, and other projects. So you sort of look forward to it more. Do you know what I mean? When you meet up for rehearsal or you're in the studio, you get that excitement back because you're not doing it every day. Do you know what I mean? I never took it for granted, but when you go now and you one day you're on your knees working away, and then plumbing, and then the next year you're sort of in the studio, and you get that thrill back. Do you know what I mean? It's like that's what I'm saying. But yeah, it's lovely.
Well, I was one of the two people in that vast crowd that you played in Aberdeen, and when you'd finished the gig, that's exactly what you said to the two of us, because we said, well, it's really disappointing there's only two people here, and you said, but I just want to play my songs.
Yeah. And
that was incredible, because I think the night before you supported Kasabian in Leicester in front of people.
It was tell you what it was, Andrew. It was an album launch for Wonderlands.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah. So what happened? We played. We sold out the Queen's Hall, Leicester University. That's about. I'm sure it's about 600 people. Incredible. We had a great night. No boozing, things like that. We had a great night. We got the brass section in. We got Julie from the Happy Mondays to come and do who sang on the album. She came down. We had a great night. And the next day, we've got to be in Aberdeen. so it's like, okay, it's a bit of a fair trek from Leicester to Aberdeen. Well, would you say 8 hours, Andrew? Wouldn't you? 8 hours.
Yeah, it must be something like that.
A good 8 hours. I'd say it was a good 8 hours. well, someone had lost the keys to the little Mercedes Sprinter van, like the tour bus we'd had. So anyway, we set off, gets all the way to Aberdeen after a long. Okay, we're looking forward to it. Don't matter. We're all sound. I guess there, and I forgot my suitcase for the. I think I've got about 10 days before I'm going to go home. So I forgot my suitcase. Right, I've got one pair. I've got the only clothes I'm standing in. That was it. I forgot all my t-shirts. Just one of them. Like, oh my god. And then to make it worse, the promoter, how many tickets we done? Just the 2, mate. I'm like, oh, good grief! The highs and lows of the music industry in 24 hours.
Isn't it just? Yeah, you've just summed it up, right?
Seriously,
you're right. But you're right. Going back, thinking about them days now. You say we can laugh about it now. It's amazing, but at the time it wasn't so funny. Mm-hmm. But you look back with great fondness now. Do you know what I mean? At them days, and I do mean it. And even on Saturday we played to. There's about just shy of 200 people in the venue, which is in Leicester, which is very good crowd for me now in terms of like in Leicester. That's to be honest with you, but. I didn't have to force anyone there. You know, years ago, it felt like, you're going to come to the gig, just try and get the crowd. Yeah. I know you got to create a bit of a buzz, but so none of them fans and friends and family on Saturday night were forced to go. Do you know what I mean? Like, so you think they actually wanted
it's to more natural.
Pretty much like you and your mate Andrew at Aberdeen.
Well, I had to plan with drink all night because you didn't come on stage about 11:30 or something like that.
I was just waiting for that. They call it the walk up. Just waiting for them thousands of fans to come around the walk up. Yeah,
I think there must have been a mistake. They must have been given the wrong venue, Jersey. That's what happened.
Yeah, I tell you something, Jersey. You were lucky.
Promoter.
You didn't hear the support act. There were a little group of Neds from Aberdeen who just went up on stage and thrashed their guitars in front of 3 or 4 girls who'd obviously come to support them.
That's what happened. It scared off the crowd. That's what happened. They ruined the whole night. And now Jersey's thinking Aberdeen was shit. Right.
So I'm going to ask you, what's your favourite song of your repertoire of songs? What do you like?
The one that jumps out the top of my head is the one that means most to me is Thinking for Two. That was a song for my little girl Ida. I wrote that when she was born. She came back because that obviously there's a story behind that. That was the closest thing I came to stardom. And then I'd say the Easy Come Easy Go, which was out on an EP. 23, I do believe, lads. Yeah, 2023, and that's sort of, and that's a lot. We're talking about getting the love back for it. That's given me more confidence in terms of the songs are coming and better songs, better crafted songs, better playing, better musicianship on the records. Do you know what I mean? So it's getting my love back for it, getting the juices flowing again. Mm-hmm. But probably my favourite is Thinking for Two because it's so personal. I mean, they all are, but so. It means that even though Arla's not, she's not old enough to come to proper gigs at the minute, but she knows it's for her. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's a great song. It's a great song. And I don't know if you remember, but it's a special song for Grace and I because you sang it for us in Nice and Sleazy in Glasgow.
That's it.
You broke your rule and didn't sing it for your daughter. You sang it for us.
No, that's right. I remember
that. So we're getting all wishy-washy and gooey now. We're grown men. It was excellent.
That's it. It's great how you can go from the rock and roll bit to the ballad and the ballad bit, the rock, folk rock ballad, if you want. Yeah, that's it. And that's my favourite. The lyrics as well. Sort of, I'm proud of them. Everything came quite quickly with that. Do you know what I mean? In terms of like. And it's even to this day, you get a few people when you're at gigs and they've played at the first dance at the wedding and things like that. Do you know what I mean? That means the world to me.
That's
it
cool.
Does.
Yeah,
that's cool. Yeah. Well, listen. On that note, thank you very much. That's a great ending. I hope that the thousands of people who are listening to this podcast,
including the millionaires, sponsorship opportunities.
Let's not discriminate. Billionaires, we will.
Let's be fair.
If you got a couple of grand in the bank, that's fine.
Just throw it this way. We can make sure it gets to Jersey, and we can get that album out sooner. So get in touch.
Yeah, bless you, boys. Bless you.
That's cool, Jersey. Thank you very much indeed.
Thanks for having me, lads.
Brilliant.
I appreciate that.
Brilliant.
Really appreciate your time.